let's talk about Melty Blood. Melty Blood is a fighting game based off of the Tsukahime franchise, which is a very popular visual novel in Japan and with weirdos on the internet. It can't be that weird though, right? The maids act like that because of that? You what? Despite the questionable source material, Melty Blood has slowly become a notable franchise in the fighting game community. From being the top tournaments in the bathroom of the venue to one of the 8 games in the EVO lineup, Melty Blood and its developers French Bread have come a long way, and seeing them become more and more of an FGC household name is something just beautiful to see. But there is something about the newest version of Melty Blood type Lumina, which is unique for both French Bread and very different to a lot of games in the fighting game genre, and that's the way that they're handling their DLC cycle. But first, a word from our sponsor. Hey you! Do you spend most of your days staring at screens? Do you find yourself getting reoccurring headaches after playing games for a while? Do you struggle to sleep at night after scrolling through Twitter before bed? Well, you could use some help from our sponsor, Jandes Computer Glasses. Jandes specializes on making blue light filter glasses for use at your office and home. If you've never come across glasses like these before, what they do is lessen the impact that the blue light waves have on your vision, thus lessening the strain on your eyes and leading to better sleeping patterns. Jandes glasses are specifically designed to remove the most harmful and potent blue light rays while still maintaining good viewing quality. Not to mention the glasses themselves are stylish and built to last, coming in a nice sturdy case and having a really good build quality while still being very stylish themselves. And if you use my link in the description, you can get a 20% discount when purchasing a pair of these glasses. Thank you to Jandes for the sponsorship, and let's get on with the video. You ever thought about how fighting game season passes are kinda weird? The most common form of monetization for fighting games right now is known as the season pass. For about 20 bones-ish, you'll gain access to a certain amount of characters. Generally 5, but it can range depending on how much the developers want to be generous. The moment that they're released. Unless they give you it a few days early, can there stop being so many exceptions, please? Season passes aren't exclusive to fighting games. They're a pretty common method of distributing downloadable content for a bunch of different games. I remember it being extremely popular in the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 days. However, I haven't noticed it being as common in the past few years. That's probably because I've not spent a lot of time looking at the AAA section of the game industry for the past few years, but as games slowly move more and more onto random shops that prey on your fear of missing out and the idea that it might not be back for possibly years, so you better buy it quick. You better buy it right now. I swear to God, you gotta buy the fucking skin, you fucking loser. As well as preying on the fact that apparently people give a fuck about your skins now, and that could be used as a status symbol. Thankfully, fighting games haven't embraced that kind of monetization strategy yet. But the Season Pass is the monetization that the entirety of the fighting game genre has landed on, which, compared to all of that shit, is nice. Though I don't like how we don't have all of the content in the game if we get the game late. It's still nice that we don't have to do what we used to. Back in the early 2000s, or early 2010s, or really recently actually, if fighting game developers wanted to update their games, they had 2 options. Option 1 is that they calmly and politely tell all of the owners of the game what they should expect from the new update, ask them to send in their copies of the game so that they can calmly and peacefully put the new things into the game disc and send it back to the players so that they can enjoy a more balanced and better version of the game. Or option 2, they charge players more for their waifus. Please guess which one of these options the game devs made their players do. The tile update is an old solution to adding more things to your game. By adding more characters and changing the balance in the game and adding a new word like Super, Ultra, Championship Edition, or in the case of French Bread specifically, CL-R. Last night at the dawn, a young man shows up. Hellfire burns down the surroundings. The ice coffin quietly lies. So, the time comes. Here, ring the bell of the dawn. The dark night will soon be over. You can flip the game industry your favorite finger and sell the game as an entirely new game, and no one will be none the wiser, except literally everyone who is very much aware of what you just did. For French Bread specifically, they were doing the title update method as late as fucking 2018 with their most popular fighting game so far, Undenied. CL-R. Last night at the dawn, a young man shows up. Hellfire burns down the surroundings. The ice coffin quietly lies. So, the time comes. French Bread used to actually be really bad for this. Like, really bad for this. Melty Blood originally had 5 different title updates with Melty Blood React, Melty Blood Act Cadenza, Melty Blood Actress Again, and finally Melty Blood Actress Again Current Code, aka MBAACC, which is the version that most people play to this day. Actress Again Current Code has 4 separate versions, which act as upgrades or patches for the game. The last version, version 1.07, also used to be really hard to get your hands on. I don't want to spread misinformation on the internet, so you'll have to take what I say with a bit of salt, but I'm pretty sure that the story goes that version 1.07 was originally part of a Tsukahime-themed collector's edition with a bunch of other things. Because of this, for a long time, the final version of MBAACC wasn't really accessible for the public. It wasn't until somebody got their greedy hands on it and dumped the ISO online and eventually French Bread released the game on PC that it was much more accessible. And trust me, the Melty Blood community wanted this game to be accessible. Right now, the most popular version of the game is MBAACC Community Edition. The Community Edition uses a modded version of the game, which allows for online play by retroactively adding rollback netcode into the game. Most importantly as well, the game is entirely free if you use the community version. While this is technically not the most legal thing to do, as you're giving a full game away for free, the community is rallied around the game, and MBAACC's lifespan has increased dramatically thanks to the efforts of its community. The game is good, and it's extremely easy to get your hands on, despite its rocky start with being very hard to get. Now, I can't say this for 100% certainty, but I think French Bread might have caught wind of this, because the newest version of Melty Blood seems to be honoring the traditions that the community have made. Remember when we talked about season passes a couple of minutes ago? Originally, when Type Lumina came out, French Bread announced that it would have a season pass. Originally announcing 4 characters, French Bread never announced a price or even let players pre-order the DLC before it came out. The first 2 characters to be released were the drippiest character in Melty Blood and the child that wandered in off the street. I fucking hate D.A. Noelle so much. Why the fuck is the character in the game? Why does she look like that? When these characters came out, French Bread said instead of paying for them, the DLC would be free for a certain amount of time. This was sort of a show of good faith for the players of the game, for seeing through the somewhat rocky launch with the netcode issues, and just a general thank you to the community. But then the end of the time period came, and the characters were still free for everyone. This was a bit odd, but still very much welcome. And then 2 new characters were released, being Super fucking Mario and Powered CL, which were both welcome additions to the cast. These characters were also free for a limited time, which the community were, again, very happy for. And then the next character released. And the next. And the next, and the next, until finally we had 8 DLC characters that have been added to Melty Blood Type Lumina. Drip Queen, Actual Child, Mario Brother, White Woman Karen installed, Chura, Good Potatoes, the GOAT of Monte Cristo, and my fighting game fetish. She's fast as fuck, samurai, focusing on mix-ups, bro. They made her for me! With 8 whole new characters, the game's roster has grown to a respectable size, and all of the characters are free. Melty Blood Type Lumina being a full-price game was pretty standard for fighting games, and I was prepared to drop more money on the game, but the devs looked at my wallet and decided to be generous, and it's amazing. It's really nice. Outside of general patches, I can't think of any game that straight up just gives you more characters to play entirely for free, especially in fighting games. KI did it for, what, like a couple of weeks? You just get these characters forever, dude. This has also worked out really well for French Bread, because the amount of positive press that they get from this. When was the last time that you heard anything negative about Type Lumina? Trick question, fucker! You didn't! They're giving us free shit! Now, obviously, when we're talking about giving things away for free, the idea of the company's finance might come to your head. How exactly is it that French Bread is able to just give us characters for free when their idea is to make a profit? Oh, of course! Type Moon owns Fate Grand Order! The game that prints so much money, it makes Mr. Beast look like he's fucking struggling. Of course. Well, if you have fucking Fate money to burn, I doubt that you need to worry about your niche fighting game doing well. But still, It's really nice. The idea that a big-ish game can just give players new characters for free is such a nice change of pace from everything else that's happening in the fighting game space that it makes me wonder what things could be like. What would the scene look like if people weren't gatekept behind playing 20 big ones to access a new character that they don't even know if they like? Maybe I'd be able to play more games and try more things because the fear of wasting money isn't there. One can only dream, I guess. If somehow a developer is watching this, maybe try releasing a couple of free characters. It's cool and nice and it's fun. It gives incentive for people to try your games as well. Your fans will definitely thank you for it, and you might even gain more out of it. Though, it's just a thought, of course. As always, very special thanks to Brudikai, Daniel Wiederick, Games PNG, Lady Dantalon, Melodically Me, Monact, N-Hoa, Proxy, Smeech, Super, Straw Fox, Tom Tanks, and Zandatsu for being Tier 2 patron subs.